Happy Hanukkah here from downtown Orlando. Depending on when this episode is showing, it is currently November 29th or the beginning of the holiday season, so that's why I am in this Hanukkah or Lamaka sweater, and actually the guest across from me has the same vibe with her sweater. We met during her time at UCF, which she transferred to after a 2-year stint at Auburn. And during that time, she was involved with event coordination with UCF's largest philanthropy called Nighthon, and then afterwards worked for Disney for a little bit, and is now working for a marketing company and runs a page on Facebook called Stuff to Do in Orlando. So today is really an informative episode about what exactly makes the city beautiful. Awesome. So with all that being said and done, please put your festive hands together for today's guest, Miss Ashley Edwards.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show, Danny. What a great introduction.
I appreciate it.
You really just got my entire entity of who I am, it seems like.
Perfect. I mean, I try to make the intros as awesome as the people that I ask on, so...
I mean, well, thank you. It means I'm pretty awesome.
Of course. And we've known each other for what, 3 years now?
Oh, gosh. I would say 4.
4? That's
2017.
Right. That's
Is that
right.
5? That might be 5.
I think it is almost 5, especially since we're going into 2022, yeah.
Oh, geez Louise. Time flies by.
A little too fast.
Very fast. Very correct.
It seems like you have one bill paid off, and next thing you know, oh, it's January, or...
It's Tuesday, I just paid rent, and it just, hurt my heart a little bit, because I just got paid from, my job, and then it just went all the way to rent.
Yep. That's being an adult in modern-day America.
And that's living downtown by yourself.
Hey, but it's worth it, because it's a great location, and... there's so much to do. Speaking of that, you are the administrator of the Facebook page Stuff to Do in Orlando. Is that correct?
That is very correct. That is part of my job, yeah.
Oh, it's part of your job.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a little rundown about how you came up with the page and how it ties in with your work specifically.
Yeah, so I work with Unation. Unation is a event marketing company, and part of our brand is Stuff to Do in Orlando. We have a bunch of cities all across the U.S., and obviously Orlando's the best. We just grew the city back in March when I was hired on to join the team, and I joined the team as a social lead specifically for Facebook. So I run their Facebook page and their Facebook group. When I first joined the team, the group had maybe 6,000, 8,000 people.
Okay, that's pretty good.
No, closer to 6, actually, now that I think about it.
Still pretty good, though.
Nice, good following. That's over the course of about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been growing. And then it actually just hit 33,000 today.
Oh?
So I was able to grow it from 6,000 to 33,000 in just 8 months?
Okay, yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. I really hope you know that.
Thank you. I don't really think about it until I say the numbers out loud. And I'm like, oh, wow, no, I did good. Pat on my back.
You did very good.
I did good. And the group, the whole entire point is just to discover more of the city beautiful, because there is so much to offer in Orlando, from just events and restaurants and just things to do outside of what Orlando is mainly known for, which is
Disney World.
Disney World specifically, but Universal, SeaWorld.
I feel like SeaWorld, even though it's still remembered, I feel like it's kind of the black sheep of the family.
The black fish, the family?
That's right.
I'm sorry, I had to make the joke.
All right, I'll give it to you. That was naughty, Cole.
There it is. There it is.
Let me guess. Is it Felice Naughty Da for them?
Yes, that was... 'Tis the season, because it's the Holly Jolly season.
'Tis the season for season's beatings.
I deserve a drink.
So, of course, everyone knows it for, like you said, the theme parks. But tell me, what is one of your favorite parts about Orlando besides its theme park scene?
Goodness. Okay, so Orlando's grown on me a lot. When I first, moved here, I moved here to work for Disney and also to get my undergrad degree at UCF, which so much fun. I was a performer at Disney for those 4 years I worked there. Also, getting my undergrad and my master's degree, so I was doing part-time performing, part-time student. And then when I graduated with my master's degree, I was no longer working for the company due to COVID. They just kind of said, bye, all entertainment. And I was part of that 32,000 that was let go. But honestly, it's a blessing, because I was able to actually use my master's degree and get a job in social media, which is where we are now. And I was able to discover Orlando in such a different light that I never really got the opportunity to discover beforehand, because I was so invested in my theme park life and my college life that I kind of forgot there was the middle ground, which is the city of Orlando. Which also, if you look at a map, it's UCF's on one side, then Disney's on the other side, and the entire middle is downtown and everything.
Correct. And within that little space in between, it's 30 minutes on paper, but then due to traffic, it's more like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
And I-4 is one of the Oh, actually, I think it is officially the worst interstate highway in the entire U.S.
I think that officially made the change when Volcano Bay opened. Because that's like the worst stretch of I-4 because you got the tourists who don't know how to drive with a big giant volcano that everyone stares at, and then
oh no, and then
one thing leads to another.
Crashes.
Exactly. Just
yeah.
No sound effect.
Man, it sounds like Orlando would be a hellish place to be an insurance agent or something like that.
I mean,
we got into a crash again.
I mean, or like a great place because like think of the money opportunities.
Oh, true. I mean,
you got your pros and your cons.
I guess, but mostly today is about the pros.
Oh, of course.
So one thing that I actually noticed is, well, being half Korean, I kind of noticed this because of minority things, but I noticed that Orlando has a big Vietnamese culture.
They do, like the entirety of like around like Mills 50 district is one of my favorite spots in town because I feel like it really highlights the wonderful melting pot that is Orlando because it's so diverse and it's so accepting of every culture, every gender, every religion, like anyone who you are, no matter like what your sexuality is, like you are accepted here and you are loved here. And I think that's just something that makes Orlando, the city, beautiful and the city awesome.
So what I've noticed is that, I don't know if this is offensive to say, but I believe that Orlando is now one of like the gay capitals of the U.S., I would say.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate how it happened because it required a shooting to lead to that, but I'm just glad that now, despite such a horrible event, they feel like they can come here and be safe. I mean, if you really look at Orlando compared to like the rest of Florida, like the more rural parts, it's a very, like you said, multi-ethnic melting pot. And it's great to see that everybody can at least be somebody here.
I think one of my favorite things living downtown was like go outside and like randomly I'll just see rainbows everywhere. Like the buildings will be decorated like in rainbows and like Lake Eola Park will be like there's so much rainbow. It's like, and it's just incredible to see like that love and acceptance spread out all of downtown. Mm-hmm. And it's great to see, and I just love being a part of it.
I'm guessing they don't have that in Alabama?
Oh, no. Not so much. There's a reason I left when I was 20 years old.
And so you were raised there, right? And
that is correct. Born and raised. It's a really bad attempt at a southern accent. I'm so sorry.
Did you grow up with one?
So, fun fact. I had a slight one until I was about 5 years old. And then I had a daycare person, nanny, whatever you want to call her, Miss LaVon. And she's very, very southern, the most southern drawl, sweetest old lady. And I would come home with a southern accent. And my mom, who's from Boca Raton, was just like, no, my child's not having an accent. Untaught me that accent. Like every day I learned it.
Oh?
Because she just thought it sounded like uneducated, didn't like the way that it sounded, wanted me to have like a much more just ambiguous accent, I guess.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that.
It works. So I don't have one except for when I say like 2 words. I have 2 words that are my key. Oh, she's Southern. She's from Alabama. Y'all.
Of course.
But I feel like that one's more universal now. I feel like a bunch of people say y'all.
It, yeah.
Instead of saying like guys, it's more inclusive. It's you all, you everyone. And the other one is thanks to season 2 of Dance Moms, which is the name Bentley.
Bentley?
I can't say it. I know it's the name of a car. I can't say it like a normal person. It's always Bentley.
Hey, would you like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley?
A Bentley. 100%.
It's adorable. A little twang in there.
It's the only word that I say that has a twang. It's so weird. I don't understand it. I discovered this. My roommates made fun of me for it because we were talking about Teen Mom. When I was 13 years old, I wanted my first child to be named Bentley.
Oh, okay. You kind of said it normally there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's still 2 syllables instead of 1.
Yeah. Bentley.
Yeah, I guess it's 3 instead of 1 is how I say it.
Bentley, yeah. I
Bentley.
guess if I try to like sound it out. Okay. And you went to Auburn for those first 2 years, right?
We go, war damn eagle.
So how'd you feel about Gus Malzahn when he first came to UCF?
Listen, that blew my entire mind. Okay, we're gonna travel back in time with me for a second. We're gonna go back in time.
Okay.
This is 2017 when I first transferred to UCF. I transferred in fall of 2017. If you specifically remember what happened on New Year's Day of 2018,
Of course.
that was the UCF versus Auburn football game.
Ah, man.
My
Sweet memories.
First semester at UCF after transferring from Auburn. It blew my mind. That was the greatest day of my life. And everyone kept asking me, like, actually, like, who are you going to root for? Like, are you going to root for your hometown team or, like, your new team? And obviously, I rooted for UCF.
Go Knights.
Because, charge on.
Thank you.
You're welcome, anytime. And the thing is, like, with Auburn, when they play a school they deem underneath themselves, or, like, they deem themselves better than, they get this cocky head about them, and they go into the game and they lose. I've been an Auburn fan for years. I know how they play. And they went into the game with UCF with the biggest head. And I was like, oh, y'all are going to get creamed. Y'all don't know what you're waiting for. Like, we have Mackenzie Milton. Scott Frost was a good coach. He was a decent coach.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Of course.
But it was the dream duo of them two that just, like, made us undefeated and national championships, I do say.
I just participate with that. Of course, all my friends, especially my stepbrother, went to UF. He's like, yeah, UCF with their national champ. And I go, it's in the books. I'm just going to leave it there.
The way that I held that over all of my friends from Auburn's head for actually still now to this day, I still do. And I'm like, remember like 2018 New Year's Day? Because I do.
Oh, 100%. I was in Atlanta that day.
I was this close to getting a ticket and I couldn't. So I just went downtown and watched it stag.
Wait, were you in line at all?
I tried.
Oh.
But like, yeah.
So the day they announced that UCF was going to the Peach Bowl, I was with my friend studying for an exams at like 2:30, so I had to go home and get something. And I went by the stadium, and there was already one person parked by the tickets front, and it was 4 p.m. And I go, okay, in 2 hours, I gotta get here. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose a spot. So somehow, I get there at 8, and the front part of the gated off area is not full yet. So I go, okay, I'm actually not in a bad spot. But it was just that I had to move my car, and I was like, oh no, I can't lose my spot. But luckily, I had a friend there who saved it for me, and I was able to sneak back. That was my final year at UCF, actually, so I went out on undefeated seasons. I'm not too angry about that.
I like to think I was the good luck charm, because y'all didn't have an undefeated season until I got there.
That's right.
So that's what I keep saying.
Thank you for blessing us with your grace,
You're
Miss
so
Edwards.
welcome. You're so welcome. I took it away from Auburn and gave it to you guys.
Well, thank you for that, because we could have used it at that time. And it's funny because when they show like every major highlight or pictures from every major UCF win in the locker room, and of course one is versus a certain Gus Malzahn's Auburn, and so I saw someone's comment on that video, and they said, just imagine what Gus has to endure every time he walks by that photo.
I literally saw, it was on social media, they posted it like on theirs, and it was literally Gus like giving like a pep talk like to the team, like in the background. It had 2017 national championships like against Auburn, and I was cackling. And it takes like a very like specific person to know Gus coached that game, and now he's coaching for UCF.
Mm-hmm.
That full 180 that is.
So hopefully he can win a quote-unquote national champion with us.
I think, again, we're on the Gus bus. We got this.
Absolutely, and we're now going to a much more legit conference, so once we start getting a little more beefed up, I mean...
Big 12, baby! Let's go!
See, the thing is that Florida is, I believe, the hottest bed of football recruitment, and actually from where your mom and I are from, South Florida, is like the biggest hub that isn't, well, Texas, for example. But also, I realize that there's a lot of Orlando talent.
There's so much. We also have the Solar Bears and we have Orlando Magic, like not just in football, but like in other sports as well.
True, and then Orlando City as well. It's like...
and yep, Atlanta City's huge. Why did I forget that in my list?
I know, they're like one of the only big teams here because, granted, the Solar Bears, they're fun, but I grew up with NHL Panthers hockey, so seeing the Solar Bears was like, I don't know, a version of that. I was like, maybe if I fucked around in a beer league or something, you know, one of these guys might actually come in and like cream us all.
It's okay. I grew up with the Huntsville Havoc. It's a hockey team that was very low tier.
Oh, that's right. I forgot who they were a farm team for, but okay, minor league hockey. It was a reason for people to go, and
it was a fun game. That's the only kind of team we had in Alabama.
I was about to say, it must be one of the many, many forms of entertainment that Alabama has to offer.
Well, now it's growing, I will say.
Really?
But there's definitely more stuff to do in Orlando.
Yeah, because I've actually been through Tuscaloosa, or Tuscaloosa, as you said.
Thank you very much.
And I was surprised at how developed it was. I was like, wait, there's an actual restaurant here.
And just drive 20 minutes and you get more fields.
And not like a general goods store or something like that with like jerky from the 1900s.
They've got Publixes in Alabama. That's a thing.
Wait, they do?
They do. I was born and raised in, like, not in Publix, but like with Publix. Fun fact, actually, aisle 3. That's where I was. Pop right out.
I thought you were more of a deli baby, but...
No.
I guess we all can't be special.
It's the wine aisle.
Okay, well, that's very perfect for you.
There it is as I drink my Truly.
Also, I've seen you downtown because I take pictures of all the...
We're not... Oh my gosh, you're... So, me and Allie, you took a picture of us. Like, we did not know each other. We just, like, after Nighthon, we took a shot together, and it was, like, the beginning budding of our friendship, and then we were on the same communications team the next year. And I was like, hey, Allie, remember, like, when Danica took a picture of us taking a shot, and, like, was the beginning of our friendship? And she did not remember until I showed her the physical photo.
Wait, Allie Cangelosi?
Allie Campbell.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If you're listening, hey, girl, hey.
Hey, Allie, we miss you over here.
I miss you a lot, it's fine.
But, yeah, so... Nighthon. For those of you who don't know what Nighthon is, it is UCF's largest student-run philanthropy that raises money for the... What hospital is it?
Oh goodness, I'm gonna butcher the name. And I was marketing director. The Orlando Health Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you. That was my public speaking voice.
Your customer service voice.
It's the same thing.
Of course. And so with the whole Arnold Palmer, when we have to say the Winnie Palmer thing too, I was like, oh, good Lord, my brain can't handle the first part.
I was so glad they cut that name out, because when I got marketing director, said this is the actual, like, what we have to say every time, and it was no Winnie Palmer, and I was like, Winnie girl, I love you, but I'm so glad I don't have to say your name.
Actually, as we're talking about this, Orlando has some of the best children's hospitals in this state, I would say.
100%. I mean, they're also funded by the 7th or 6th largest dance marathon network in the nation.
That's right.
We were 7th. We went 6th when when we raised $1.5 million.
Yep.
We're kind of a big deal, guys.
We're the peak.
We really are. It was funny because when I was at Auburn, I was part of Dance Marathon over there. Mm-hmm. And so when I transferred to UCF, like, obviously connections were made. I joined Dance Marathon there to, like, help my happy transition over. And all my Auburn friends were, like, fangirling so hard about UCF. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like the top tier. It's like the number one. And I'm like, it's actually Penn State, but, like, okay.
Yeah, we're a big deal over here, though.
We are. Oh, we are. Not selling ourselves short.
I mean, as the second largest, or maybe first, I think, university in the nation, that's kind of going to happen.
We are, yeah. We're the largest university in the nation. It's the largest philanthropy at that university.
Oh, yeah. So we raise the big bucks for the kids.
Does that make us the largest philanthropy at a college?
That's a great question.
Is that associate property of addition right there? Did I do some math in my head?
As UCF's equation for the national champion goes, I guess we're just good at that.
You're not wrong. Go Knights Charge On.
Yeah, go Knights Charge On. Another thing for us to drink to. Cheers. Actually, this one app called Peerspace, so it's kind of like an Airbnb for studios. Oh. You just look for, like, certain cities, and then they give you places to do shoots for. And so they did an article for top best 9 event photographers in Orlando, and I was listed at number 5.
Yes, you were. Danny K.
I try. And it all started because I took pictures of everybody hammered at July 4th in 2015.
I mean, honestly, what a great way to start. I just feel like that's, like, one of your favorite things to photograph. Just, like, going out to the bars, like, people just having a good time and just, like, being in the moment in those candid shots.
Oh, yeah, and the best part is none of those people remember it because they're all blacked out.
I mean, not saying I was one of them, but I was one of them.
Too many times, I would say.
A couple of times, a handful of times.
One of the best things that we like to do after every night-thon, because it is a whole year-long event, is all get hammered at one of the local bars at UCF.
It is the greatest night of the year. Like, 100%.
And it's funny because everyone acts so prim and proper next to the families, making sure we have a good image, and then it all just turns to crap for a single night because everyone was just stressed the heck out. It's
like any tensions that you had, you just let loose through, like, shots and alcohol and just good vibes. If there's any sexual tensions, those got out too. Because, like, you can't hook up with someone in your team, like, when you're working with them. But, like, after you're done, I don't know, guns a-blazing.
Justin Sanguilia, I've seen you make out with a bunch of people. Attaboy.
The little shout out to him. Attaboy.
Actually, he's going to eventually be on the show, and we're just going to talk alcohol and stuff like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and speaking of alcohol and Orlando, actually, Orlando has a very great nightlife scene. Surprisingly, like I said, everybody thinks of Disney and that it's all family-friendly, but if you're a young adult, you can have a good time here. I mean, there's at least 3 colleges within this proximity. There's UCF, there's Rollins, and there's Valencia. I don't know how many campuses are within this Florida area, but there is a decent youthful nightlife. And it's not like Fort Lauderdale or Miami where it's, like, super expensive either.
Oh, no. And it's also like you don't have to be, I'm going to say the word youthful, like you don't have to be, like, in college to enjoy the nightlife. Like, I'm 24 and thriving in the nightlife. And I still have friends that are, like, older than me. They're like, let's go out, let's have a good time. And there's so many great bars. Like, no matter what your mood for the evening is, like, do you want, like, a nice crafted cocktail that's handmade for you? Or do you want to just, like, get shit-faced? There's so many options. And I can name some top ones if you would like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what this episode's for. So what are some of your favorite nightlife places?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so when I go out, I typically like to go out and have a good time. I like to feel the vibe of the group, and depending on the vibe of the night, I give the recommendations of, like, where I feel like we should go. If we're going for, like, a nice cocktail, maybe, like, a good, like, first date, first couple dates, good friend vibes, Tori Tori and Guest House are, like, 2 of my favorite places for, like, specialty craft cocktails that are just so good. They're both in Mills 50 District, and just phenomenal vibes.
I've actually been to a few of the bars in that strip because one time, actually, Orlando has a very good comedy scene too, and so I attempted to participate in it a few times, and so one time I did a improv stand-up showdown versus a few comedians. And granted, I only did stand-up for a few times up until that point, so I went in and I got my ass handed to me. And in fact, when they said, who thinks this guy was funnier, he got all the laughs. And then when it came to me, who thought this guy was funny, even my friend in the background didn't cheer. It was just silent. And so I was like, okay.
Well, now I'm mad you didn't tell me about this night, because I would have been there, like, right there, back row, front row, wherever you wanted me, just, like, cheering my butt off.
I appreciate it, thank you. But it's just, it wasn't for me. But afterwards, we went to a few of the bars. They have a great vibe. I forgot which ones they have specifically on the Mills Avenue, but I do know this great cocktail bar called Thrive in downtown Orlando.
I love Thrive. I have a friend that's a chef there, actually.
I don't like going out and drinking in general. However, I will definitely down a few of these drinks there. In fact, there's this one drink that I like called This Shit Is Bananas, and it tastes exactly like a fruit roll-up.
Wait, are you serious?
100%.
I've only gone for brunch, so I haven't actually gone, like, for, like, evening cocktails.
Then I would recommend that, or what's called the Wake Me Up. It's got a bit of a coffee taste into it.
Ooh, okay.
And so it gives people a little pep. And then there's this one thing called a disco. And it's cool because they have this little like bubble gun. And so they just pop it up and it just pops on top of the thing. And then it's like part of the show.
Wait, I love that so much. That's amazing.
So those are the 3 drinks that if I were to go to Thrive, those are the drinks that I would get.
Oh my gosh, I get something different like every time I go someplace. I know like if we're talking like downtown, then definitely like Mather's Social Gathering. It's like a speakeasy.
Actually, I've never been there.
Dude, you gotta go.
I know.
It's good. It's a good place to like to chill. They usually have like live music. I've been there with like a sax player before, and I love a good saxophone. They also have like burlesque dancers on the weekends.
Actually, Thrive one time had burlesque dancers perform at their brunch.
Sounds like Cafe 22 Tango. I love that. What a vibe.
And it's just funny because everyone sees the nakedness and they're like, I'm never coming here again. But people have to realize this is an art show. People train to do this.
Yeah. Avant-garde, if you will. And then Aloha Beautiful just opened.
Where's that?
It's owned by the Robinson.
Okay,
so
got
it's next door to the Robinson. It used to be where, what's it called?
Shots?
Above Shots.
Okay.
There used to be a bar there that had arcade games.
Oh, joysticks.
Yes, it's where joysticks used to be. R.I.P.
Okay. R.I.P. That was a fun bar.
It was, but honestly, I like Aloha Beautiful better. It's a karaoke bar that's Hawaiian themed.
Wait a minute. A karaoke bar? That's it. I'm going.
Yep, it's literally my favorite place. I'm a queen of karaoke. I try to go like every week, TBH.
We should go.
Say less.
Okay.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Either that or Get Jiggy With It by Will Smith.
You can't not have a good time with Get Jiggy With It.
Or, as of recently, Gangnam Style by Psy.
You did the dance, though. Like, you had to,
I did the dance, and the best part is being half Korean, I can get away with it. I pretend I speak the language, but no one knows. No one can tell the difference.
Nod and smile, and you're like, yeah.
Exactly.
You're fine. You don't know. You don't know.
This thing right here is called Swamp Spray. It is from a local Orlando brand called Freehand Goods, and they have some of the best scented candles in the city of Orlando. I buy them all the time. And they just created their own aesthetic for Orlando. It's very homey, very woodsy. It's a kind of brand that you would like to drink a craft beer with.
Ah, what a great way to describe that. Which also, Orlando has some great craft beer and some great breweries.
Like, name some of them if you can name some off the top of your hand.
Okay, say less.
Sorry.
Crooked Can used to be one of my favorites over in Winter Garden in Plant Street Market. I've since then discovered some other great ones. Like Ivanhoe Brewing is like one of my favorite ones. 1010 Brewing is really, really good. Poor Choice Tap House just opened, and like it's not a brewery, but it's a tap house. So you go in, you get like a little wristband, and you tap whatever it is, whatever craft beer, wine, sake, they have it all.
Sake?
Sake, they have sake on tap, and you just like press your wristband, and it just like pours as much as you want, and then it charges your wristband at the end of the day.
Once they get some soju though, that's like Korean alcohol, then yeah, that's a move.
That's a move, yeah. It's in Mills 50, so
got it.
We're not surprised it's in that wonderful area.
This is really bad, but even though I love Korean barbecue, I have not hit up Izzy Bon yet.
It's so good.
I know, and aren't they like open until like 3 or 2 in the morning or something like that?
I think so. I think they also have some great deals.
There was this one place by UCF, it's called Kimchi House, and that place is pretty legit.
I did not go there when I was at UCF.
It's making a right out of University, so
okay.
You're not going towards Colonial, you're going towards Oviedo, if anything. So one thing that Korea is not known for really, but I can attest to this since I was there about 2 years ago, they have fantastic fried chicken.
There's a couple, you told me one on the Orlando Facebook group when I asked for
food recommendations.
Yes, you did, and you said, what was it? It was
chicken. It's funny because Their word for chicken is dak, but because it's a joke of a thing called Konglish, where a lot of words that were brought over through English, they just pronounce it in a very Korean way. So if they say like, fried chicken, they go chicken.
Wait, I love that. I love that they just like, yep, this is the name, chicken.
Yeah, for example, computer is komputer, camera is kamera, and ice cream is ice-cream.
Just making sure we get all the syllables in there, all the pronunciations.
Mm-hmm. And so therefore, I guess at this point, you can speak some words to Korean and they'll just understand you by default.
I mean, I feel like that's just kind of anywhere. Also, if you go anywhere and speak English, they'll pretty much be like, there it is.
Well, some places at least more than others.
Touche. It's just everywhere else in the world is like Singlish is like second language. So they pretty much know what's going on.
Correct. Whereas we don't know what else is going on when they speak their language.
Cheers.
Cheers. I speak profanity, and that's only at certain parties.
You're not wrong. I don't speak anything else. I've attempted. Not even profanity.
Oh, it's all right. There's a lot of baggage that comes with that.
I feel like it's an art form, though. It's like you perfect the art of it.
You do, and then you have to learn the mastery of not saying it at people. You probably had to deal with a lot of people like that when you worked at Disney, right?
That I did. Now I was about to be like, wow, profanity, something I could not use at Disney, despite the fact that I wanted to.
At, like, everybody that came in?
Not everyone. Legally, I do not speak for the company or anything like that. I'm going to do the little disclosure there.
Little disclaimer.
A little disclaimer.
Don't go after Ashley after this show.
Yep, and there's like some things like legally I can't say, but I was a performer and I was friends with like Chip and Dale and Winnie the Pooh. I did a lot of parades and stuff.
Winnie the Pooh?
A little nugget, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh has a very large place in me and my sister's heart.
I mean, same. I also was in his heart.
So one of my hidden talents is I can do impressions, and I'm told I can do a decent Tigger.
Okay, I'm closing my eye. Let's hear it.
All right. Hold on. Sorry.
No pressure. No pressure. The pressure is on. It was the laugh. That laugh was like on point.
That's the only thing that like I can do the best. I mean, granted, I don't want to spit all over my microphone because he does do the thing.
He does. Even the character does at Disney.
Oh, you've been sprayed by Tigger?
A handful of times, yeah. But all in good fun. All in good fun.
I mean, he's a fun guy. He's the only one.
He is the only one. Gosh, I feel like as a kid, you either a Pood kid or like an Eeyore kid or a Tigger kid. And I was a Tigger kid. Overly
happy and just not caring about life because you're just focused on having a good time?
Me. Always. That is me.
And then we all become Eeyore.
Sadly, just like, okay, it's fine.
My house was destroyed for the 5th time today because it's just made of sticks, but it's fine. I don't deserve anything less. And I'm just like, Eeyore, do you need a hug, buddy?
Yes, I do, actually.
I always felt the same way about Piglet, too, because he looks so frail, and I don't know, he just looked like he needed a hug.
I mean, he just, like, has a lot of anxiety, which, like, I can relate to. So, like, you also just need a hug and just, like, a deep breath and to calm down a little bit.
That's right, a little woosah.
A little woosah.
Actually, I remember seeing the live-action version in the theater, and...
I brought my pillow pet with me. I literally brought my little Winnie the Pooh pillow pet, and I was just hugging him. And I was, like,
adorable.
watching it with my family, and I was just sobbing tears.
It's like, it wasn't meant to be an Oscar movie, but I just felt like so much nostalgia when I saw that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like the vibe that like Disney just gets all together. Like even like as adults, when you like go back to like visit the parks and you visit the characters, it's like all of a sudden you're transported, and no matter how old you are 6 years old again. You are just go right straight back to your childhood, and you're just like, D, here I am.
It's like a bunch of the Disney kids who grew up with Toy Story. By the time of Toy Story 4, when Andy goes to college, a lot of us were going to college too.
That one hurt me, and I wasn't even, like, in that age, my sister was going to college, and I was, like, a freshman in high school, I think, to, like, age myself, and it was, like, I was sobbing, because I was seeing it through her eyes of, like, Andy saying goodbye, but, like, I'm saying goodbye to my sister, so it was hard.
Disney has the way of doing that, and granted, yes, there are those corporate things, but then again, we have to be thankful for Disney for a lot of stuff that we grew up with, and I was a digital media major at UCF, and so I had to take a couple of history of animation classes, and a lot of them spoke about the golden era of Disney, especially with all the princess movies, like Pocahontas, there we go, Mulan, and granted, it's a little later, but Princess of the Frog are kind of thrown into that mix too, because Tiana is a princess as well.
It was like the last bit of like the 2D animation.
Although I will say Tarzan was one of my favorite movies.
Mine's Hercules. Hercules is up there for me.
Okay, Hercules is definitely one of the better ones. Although I will say Phil Collins did a phenomenal job for Tarzan's soundtrack.
He did not have to go that hard, but he really did. He did that for us.
He did.
Thank you, sir.
Phil Collins, you'll always be in my heart.
There it is. I was like, if you're not making the joke, I'm going to make it for you. But because I was in the hospitality school at UCF, the night Star John.
The Rosen School, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't it like one of the best in the world, I would say?
Number 2 in the world.
Wait, who's number 1?
I think it's in China.
Oh, well, never mind. I guess we're not cool enough then.
We're number 1 in the U.S.
Okay, there we go. That's all
If
that
it's
matters.
not us, maybe they're in San Francisco. I really don't know. I just know we're number 2. That's been shoved down our throats, and I said, great, I'll take it.
Number 2 is just first loser. Just kidding.
I mean, what's Ricky Bobby say?
If you're not first, you're last.
There it is. Thank you for knowing exactly what's in my head.
I got you.
But because I took a lot of theme park classes, because I was part of like the entertainment management line, I was in this second graduating class with that degree because it was brand new programs. They were still trying to figure out what is this degree. Mm-hmm. And, I'm just along for the ride. At this point, I'm just going to shoot a paper at the end of the day.
And it was entertainment management, right? Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of like themed experience classes. So I took a lot of classes like Disney Legends. Ron Logan was like the VP of all entertainment worldwide for the Disney company. Mm-hmm. So he's the reason that Disney on Broadway is a thing. Like he produced Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, which kickstarted everything.
Is he the guy for Disney on Ice as well?
I don't know if he did Disney on Ice. I think he just did Broadway, but he did so many shows. Illuminations was his baby back in like 1999. Mm-hmm. That went on for 20 years. He bragged about it literally all the time. Petro Magic Parade was him.
Sorry, and that was the fireworks show, right?
Illuminations was the fireworks in Epcot, for like 20 years. Petro Magic was like one of the evening parades. He also did the Main Street Electrical Parade. So he did a bunch of things for the company that are still like alive and around today.
That's so awesome. It's so cool having something that you built being seen by people like years and years in the future. I mean, it's kind of sad when they forget what you did, but it's still, you did that. It's kind of like how no one expected a 15-year-old ambulance driver for the Red Cross during World War I to eventually make one of the largest empires in the world.
I mean, you could almost say an entertainment monopoly, but, here we are.
Oh, it's 100% a monopoly, and they must have a lot of Monopoly games after them, too, so how ironic.
I'm sure that they do.
Although, I will say, even though Disney is as corporately not as great, well, at least from its reputation, I will say that, for example, I don't know why, but whenever I go into like downtown Disney, it's just, I feel like I can just kind of just relax, even though that I know the staff of every one of this is anything but. I feel like it's just a fantastic place just to be a tourist.
Yeah, it's definitely like a place to like go and like unwind. Like even if you're like local to the area, sometimes like just going to Disney like takes the load off. The
goal of my show is not to get juicy details, otherwise I'd just be like, okay, since we just finished one section down a truly, and then it's just like a hard question. Except,
I mean, I'm here for the juicy details.
We're not here to ruin anyone's future.
I mean, not ruin my future. I did say like, because a lot of people think that like I would go back to the company if they were to like call me back, but I mean, I'm just such in a place in like my career that I wouldn't go back. I told myself when I first like got the job, like this is going to be a job that pays my way through school. I'm going to do it while I'm young and I'm able and I can have fun with it. But by the 50th anniversary is like when my time performing with them was going to be over anyway. Just because I wanted to do other things in my career. I wanted to get into social media, communications, marketing, exactly like where
and that's a smart move. Especially how like everything is going nowadays online and whatnot. And knowing social media is key.
Truly.
True.
There was a joke there.
I saw
and,
that.
The universe just said, hey, it's going to happen for you a year earlier than you actually intended.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
And I said, okay, yeah, fine by me.
So, you said you were a performer. Mm-hmm. Were you one of the people dressed up in really elaborate costumes? Like, what was one of your favorite things performing as?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I have a top 3. My number 1... I mean, at whatever order is the top 3 in my head. Mm-hmm. My first like parade that I did with Disney was back in 2018. I did their Halloween parade, their
awesome.
Boo to You, and Halloween's my favorite season. So that got me part-time after my college program. I got to hang out with Dale the entire time, belt kicking down Main Street USA, like an actual just like dream come true. And then after that, I did a bunch of other really cool stuff. But my other favorite was being trained in the Festival of Fantasy parade. So the parade that goes down Main Street and across the park every day at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. It was such a dream. It was literally just dreams that glow, which is a quote from the parade. And then back in 2019, with the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, that's right.
I was selected to open that world with the entertainment team.
Oh, awesome.
So I did like an acting role there. It was all improv acting. We had like improv shows.
Were you Jedi?
I was a GLD. I was a mechanic.
Oh, awesome.
And we can take a moment to laugh about that because I was a mechanic. There it is. But Chewbacca and I would run around all of Galaxy's Edge. That was really good.
Thanks.
I've also perfected it.
Wait, let me hear yours. She even got the Wookiee's arms crossbow.
Arms. I mean, it's just years of training with Chewbacca. What can I say?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to pick it up sometime.
I mean, I didn't listen to him anyway, so he can roll once, and I'm like, what'd you say, Chewie? I don't really care.
Just veering off into Dagobah or whatever part of Star Wars you're in.
Pretty much, but it was a dream because I love Star Wars. So
really?
being able to actually be in the universe, and I literally got paid to play Star Wars. I met Neil Patrick Harris at one point.
You did?
I did. My face exists on his phone.
Really?
Because I did a show and his stormtroopers were around the corner, and now we were playing Hide the Wookiee, which is one of our shows where we just get kids to literally hide Chewbacca and transport us from one part of the world to another part of the world, and the stormtroopers can't see us. And so I just grabbed random kids and I look up and Neil Patrick Harris's face and phone is in my face.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I just grabbed your children.
That's
Got
right.
it. Okay. Hi, David. His husband. I just, did my thing.
Did you speak to him at all?
I mean, I was, engaging conversation, making him part of the show, but I didn't be like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I'm a big fan.
I was about to say, how did he interact though? Was he cool about it? Was he just kind of...
Oh, he was so excited. He was like, yeah, kids, hide Chewie, stormtroopers, hide away, look, go, all the time, the phone, in the face.
That sounds like something he would do.
Oh, he's the best dad.
I was about to say, he sounds like a very good dad. A very proud father.
He is. And husband, and just actor, and just overall person.
Were you a fan of How I Met Your Mother growing up?
It's my favorite sitcom of, all time.
Okay. Honestly, I got up to, season 3, I was like, okay, this is just, I'm sorry, I'm one of those guys.
Season 3, episode 16 is the best. How I Met Everybody Else?
Oh, I guess I didn't make it up to that point.
It's the episode with the crazy hot scale. It's iconic.
Oh, yeah, I did not make it to that episode.
Well, watch the episode and then continue after that, and you might change your mind.
Okay. Although I will say they did introduce me to this one song called Here I Thought I Was an Architect by the Decemberists, and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good song. I will take it.
They're hilarious. The entire show is just peak comedy. I mean, let me correct. Peak early 2000s comedy. There's a lot of things that aren't okay nowadays.
Well, yeah, they got away with a lot more back then.
Yeah, so you have to go in with your mindset of, this show was made in 2001. Okay.
And it's so weird when you try to start a show from 2001 and you see everyone has Razor phones and you're thinking, oh wait, it's that old.
It's that old. I miss my Razor phone though. The dramatic ending of conversation, just bye.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're bringing it back.
They are with iPhones, but you can just
close it, and
yep.
I think that would be great for all the old geezers because they flip phones, or at least it took the longest time for my grandpa to get one.
My grandparents are still struggling with technology. Proud of them because my grandmother has an iPhone and attempts to use it. Bless her heart. I use the word attempt. But she tries, and it's appreciated, and we try to help her as much as we can, but there's always so much that she can actually comprehend and be like, okay, this is what's happening.
My grandparents are on Facebook, and they use it a little too much, but I love my granny and poppy. If you're hearing this, I love you too, but some of your posts make me laugh. And
same with me, Papa. Love you guys.
So, since you're a Star Wars fan, on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you place yourself?
As a Star Wars fan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't seen a lot of the TV shows, animated series.
Okay.
I've been working on that, but they're also series that you need to be in on.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as just the mainstream media goes,
mm-hmm.
I think I'm pretty well versed. I'm a pretty big fan. Lived the universe. I'm much more of a Marvel fan.
Okay, then Disney is your perfect place then, because it's got all that all wrapped up into one.
It's got both. The best of both worlds, as Hannah Montana would say.
Man, it's so weird to think that back then we just thought, oh, this is just some gimmick, but then she blew up into something completely different, especially when we entered into college and she entered into the Miley phase.
An iconic phase that we overlook because she had some great music in that era, but
she was going through a tough time.
Being raised in a very Christian household, it was you can't listen to that.
We can only listen to Achy Breaky Heart in this house.
I mean, not wrong. Don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart.
I will say, though, that even though I was not a big fan of the Hannah Montana show, when the reporter came in because she was like, I did some research, and turns out Hannah Montana is in this area, and when her dad at the end was like, and now I'm Billy Ray Cyrus, I'm like, okay, that's actually funny.
What's funny is, I was on TikTok, as, people our age are, and someone had dove in, and, in the show, canonically, they know that Billy Ray Cyrus is Hannah Montana's dad, but they also know that Billy Ray Cyrus is Miley Stewart's dad. So according to that, they're literally the same, because it's the same character in the show confirms it both times.
Oh, well, in that case,
plot hole.
Another plot hole or plot twist.
Ah, I like the way you think.
Wait, I have a sister? No, she's your genetic clone, and we just put you somewhere else.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't worry about it. She's famous. You're not. It's whatever.
She gets all the money and you don't, but that's okay. We still love you just as much.
Just as much. You get to reap the benefits.
Correct. Isn't that right, Jermaine? My name is Miley. Okay, that's a great start.
Yeah, good start.
So, what is your favorite park in Disney?
Hollywood Studios has my heart for nostalgia reasons, but Epcot. Drink around the world.
Okay, fair enough. I actually have not done that yet, and surprisingly, it's expensive.
I mean, like, yeah, but like, oh, it's worth it.
True, but still. Okay, so another thing to do in the city of Orlando is there's this thing called Drinking Around the World at Epcot. Granted, I've never been, but due to all the snaps, I can kind of see where it's going. So there's Norway, Japan. I wish they had Korea, but they'll add that in the future, maybe. So they have, like, different themes, like drinks around the world, and you just kind of get hammered without having to purchase an actual plane ticket.
Pretty much. And a fun fact about Epcot is that each country is actually like an embassy of each country. So when Epcot was made, this is my theme experience and theme park classes coming into play here. When Epcot was made, like, they went to each country and was like, hey, like, do you want to do a deal where your country is represented in this theme park in Orlando, Florida, for like all these tourists to come see and like essentially visit your country. So they had to like get approval from Mexico, from Norway, from Germany, Italy, Morocco, Japan. All these different countries had to like sign a deal,
really?
and it's basically like an embassy.
Huh, I never knew that.
The more you know, which I do know that Morocco's deal just ended. I think it's Morocco's. So, like, instead of, like, Morocco owning that area, Disney now owns it. Hence, they're kind of making it into, like, an Aladdin and Jasmine themed area.
Okay.
Because they have the space, might as well.
I guess Middle Eastern is the name of the game for that.
I guess. They really are trying just to put characters wherever they can.
Everybody gets to stay in Disney, I think.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, Anna and Elsa was never, like, canonically in Norway. But they're like, Scandinavia country. Sure, we'll write you in there.
Exactly. It sounds Viking enough.
It's a wives' tale, so it snows.
Actually, in that case, then The Little Mermaid should actually be there. Technically, The Little Mermaid is actually Danish.
Yes. And I know that Snow White's German, which is why she's there. But, like, also so is Rapunzel. And I guess Snow White just won that battle.
Learning from my classes as well, I think Snow White was the first ever animated feature film.
Correct.
Ever. Oh, awesome.
The colored one.
Correct. Colored one. You're right. Orlando is just a huge hub of just everything. Like we said, you have nightlife, you have excellent places to eat, there's entertainment, and if you're young, there's more stuff to do. For example, there's a SAC Comedy Club. Actually, Wayne Brady took improv lessons there because he is actually from Orlando himself.
I love that man. He's so talented. Whose Line Is That Anyway is such a phenomenal show, and I love they brought it back. And that he came back on it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, I don't know, I feel like the show's a lot different as it was back in 2000, but then again, like I said, back early 2000s, they were able to get away with a lot more.
It's a lot harder to be a comic nowadays, I feel like, because there's such a fine line of, like, what is appropriate to say and what's not.
Correct. It's a very thin line that seems to get thinner every day.
But we digress, because Orlando's a great place where so much is welcome. There's so much to do. There's so much to eat, which is one of my favorite things to do.
With multicultures comes multicultural food.
One of my favorite restaurants, actually, in the city is called Hawker's Asian Street Fair.
I love that place.
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. And their original location, because there's like 17 across the U.S. now. Like, they just opened one in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, really?
Fun facts. And the original one is like right here on Mills. I keep saying Mills. I just obviously love Mills a lot. But it's like right here. There's one in Windermere. They have brunch now.
Really?
But their pad thai is my favorite thing to get. I always get their pad thai and their roti.
Yep.
And I've yet to find a pad thai that beats theirs. I keep trying. I keep trying new places, just to try new recipes, different locations, and still Hawker's pad thai is like my number one.
I've actually had it too. It's pretty dank, I will say that.
It's pretty dang. It's hard to top, but I know one day someone will. But I actually went on a journey to find the best taco in Orlando.
Really?
And I did an entire blog dedicated to that. That was like my entirety of 2020 when you were like in quarantine. I was like, let me just go and get all these tacos from places and figure out where the best one is.
Well, I think this would be a very important subject for people wanting to come to Orlando, so please give us your top 3 taco places in Orlando.
Got it. Okay, so I actually separate the taco from the experience. Because you have like the quick service taco where you like walk up and you get a taco and you sit down. Great vibes. But then you have like the whole enchilada, the chips and salsa, the frozen margarita, the 2 very different vibes. If you're going for like just straight up great taco, Hunger Street Tacos is where to go.
Where's that?
It is, I think it's on Colonial, locally owned, because we love small businesses.
We do.
And
Shop small.
Shop small, shop local. And they have, I don't know, I got this chicken mole taco that was phenomenal. I got this butternut squash blossom enchilada that I've never even like tried. It was, oh my gosh, it was so good. I think it's like a seasonal item they have only in the fall. But they're my number one. Like, for sure, if you just like want a great taco. Gringo's is up there for the 3 a.m. Like, if you're leaving downtown, go there over Taco Bell. You won't regret it. They're double D's.
Also the mouth hugger.
I haven't had that.
Mouth hugger is where it's at.
What's the mouth hugger?
Mouth hugger is a burrito. It's figuratively, not literally the whole enchilada, because it's a burrito.
There it is. Oh my gosh. I always just get double D's because you can't go wrong with like a queso stuffed shell, you know?
You can't. And then the only bad part about Gringos is the line at 1 in the morning.
When the bars close and everyone goes to Gringos, it's the one sad part. But then on the other end of the spectrum, if you want the whole experience of the chips and salsa, the guac, the margaritas, Rocco's Tacos and Tequila over in Dr. Phillips is like my personal favorite. I actually became BFFs with the guy who owns the franchise. It's like a very small franchise. There's one in Orlando, Tampa. I think Boca Raton has one as well. And Fort Lauderdale, I think, is the 4. I could be wrong in some of those locations. But the guy's great. The food's great. I always get the Hondo's tacos, which is like the vegan mushroom tacos. And I'm not vegan, but I like choose to like eat more vegetables, eat more vegan most times because it's usually cleaner and better for you to eat vegetables.
I forgot this one place. It's like Market on South or something like that?
Yes, Market on South. It's
Yes.
like a food hall, but vegan.
Yes, I actually went there once. My vegan friend told me about it, and I took her, and I love meat, but I'm thinking, okay, might as well try to eat something healthier, and I had their jackfruit pulled pork taco.
Oh, it's so good. I had their jackfruit pulled pork sandwich, and it meets my criteria for my southern heart of a pulled pork sandwich.
Well, that's good, because you're Alabama certified, and so therefore it is
I
legit.
feel like my credentials are stable on that one.
I will agree with that one, and surprisingly, their mac and cheese is also pretty good, too.
It's so good. It's made with like cashews and like butternut squash.
I can't tell the difference.
Literally, and like that's the things that I love about like some like vegan food, especially like in Orlando. We have a great, huge vegan community and great food options for like vegans and like vegetarians across.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so good.
Actually, I worked at an acai bowl place in Maitland called Grainberry for a little bit, and I know all about the people who are gluten-free, and, you know, you can't have two certain things touching, and I thought, for what I have to do, people are making it seem like it's rocket science, and especially when the allergies came in, and one time we had a whole family allergic to blueberries, and the worst part is that was like at peak time of like of the lunch rush, so people's orders were backed up by like 30 minutes.
Because you have to like, just be super sure, like, you can't touch these two foods. Like,
Correct. We don't want to kill anybody.
Legal reasons, that was a joke. The legal discretion. I took a law class or two.
Okay. Of course, you had to deal with a few of that, especially for entertainment management. Everybody thinks that stars always live the glam life, but it's never seems that way, because it seems like the agents have to do a lot of the dirty work, and then that's where all the money goes to.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like, the agents and the lawyers and the contracts and the music industry, like, that's where it all goes to. Like, the artists and the songwriters and the talent really gets shit.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
They're the face, but everyone thinks that they're all making millions, and it's like, sure, they're making money.
I mean, like, Taylor Swift is, but she's also the singer-songwriter for, like, now, what, 7 of her albums? That's a lie. I just guesstimated. I'm a Swiftie, I promise.
I'm not a Swiftie, so it's alright. You can talk slander to her there.
Convert, it's okay. We'll welcome you with open arms.
I don't know. It's like, at first she was country, but then she decided to go more pop.
She grew up. She changed.
Is she now what country now, or?
She is her own genre. She is Taylor Swift. She can do whatever she wants.
Okay.
And I will just be like, yes, my queen.
Okay. It's like, I can't tell if she's tall or if Bruno Mars is short.
Bruno Mars is a short king. We love the short king.
I mean, I'm 5'8", so do I count as a short king?
Compared to Taylor Swift, who is also, like, I think she's 5'7", 5'8".
She looks like 5'10" in that photo next to him, but then again...
I think she's in heels. I think the heels made her,
yeah.
like, 5'10".
Just like how skates can add 3 inches. I only know that because I played hockey for 3 years.
Ah, there it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm 5'4", so it's like, everyone's a tall king to me.
Yeah, but, you know, you're a girl. You don't have to worry about height. Guys have to worry about that, though.
That's very true. That's very true.
One thing is, like you mentioned before, we have the Orlando Solar Bears here, and I was raised with Florida Panthers hockey.
Yeah.
And... sure, the Solar Bears games, they're fun. They're cheap sorts of entertainment if you don't have anything to do a certain night. There's not a lot of people usually there, so I guess you can be as loud as rambunctious as you want to possibly be.
I love hockey games for the pure entertainment of, like, the fights breaking out.
Oh,
I just think it's so much fun.
And this is minor league hockey, so they don't give a crap.
They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We're working with them, like, with Substitute Orlando and U-Nation. Like, we're partnering with them to help promote their games, and, like, we're going to their games, and they were doing, like, a meet and greet at Ivanhoe Brewing Company a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And we were, like, invited to, like, come meet the team and, like, get footage of, like, all their introductions. And what's funny is like on my team, I am the only single person. Everyone else is like in a relationship. Or
Married.
like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm the token single gal. So when we were like going to the team, everyone's like, all right, Ashley, there's your future husband. There's your future boyfriend. They were just like pushing me out in front. And I'm like,
They were like being that encouraging grandma.
They really were. And I'm like, love my team, happy for them. But hey, Solar Bears, if anyone's single, hit me up.
I'm sure they're good guys. They'll be a bit chippy, but
there's that hockey humor.
From what I know about hockey players, they're usually very chill guys until they're chirped at a little too much on the bench, then they go full force.
Gosh, I felt so bad. We had a hockey team at Auburn. Fun fact.
I think I actually knew that.
You knew more than me at the time because I was at a party my freshman year, because who wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
And I met up with like one of the guys like I went to high school with, but he was like 2 years older than me. So we're just like catching up because it's been 2 years at this point. And another guy like comes up, he's like, yeah, like that's my friend Adam, like he's on the hockey team. And I went, oh, we have a hockey team. The more you know. And we're talking and he's like talking like he knows me. How do you know me? I guess like you're just like really friendly, like maybe like you're just like getting his vibes that I'm not picking up on. Mm-hmm. And he goes like, oh no, Ashley, I sat behind you all last year in AP Euro. And I'm like, oh.
Didn't bother to turn around and say hello?
Apparently I didn't. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I guess I just never turned around. Like I don't know what to say. It was a very awkward exchange for me, but that's how I found out we had a hockey team that practiced in Columbus, Georgia.
In fact, actually, UF's hockey team, which they also have a hockey team as well, my stepbrother played for them. They played in Jacksonville, which was like a few hours away from them, so that was kind of inconvenient.
That just sounds awful, like making that commute for games and practices. Like
yeah, and the worst part is these aren't even like tier 1 like schools that get drafted into the NHL. These are just for fun, which I actually
love the sport.
Correct. In fact, actually, I attempted a workout with the UCF hockey team, and that's when I realized I'm way out of shape and I'm not for these guys.
You know, you tried. You attempted. That's what matters.
Correct. And instead, I joined a fraternity, which had its own set of fun.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of, it's college way. It's Greek life.
We played floor hockey against other people. That's the only sport I could play, but because of my out of shapeness, I only played very few shifts. But whenever I was on the ice or court, whatever you want to call it, I did pretty well. So.
I'm impressed. I've never played a game of hockey in my life. I've just witnessed and I've just cheered when someone got punched in the face.
Nice. Did you play any sports growing up?
I did not. I did strictly dance and theater and cheerleading.
So for dance, what kind of dances did you do? Did you do jazz, freeform?
Literally all of the above. I was a competition dancer, so ballet, jazz, tap, hip-hop, lyrical, contemporary. I threw in some salsa lessons at some point. So I've done it all.
So you're a mixing pot of different dances, much how Orlando is a mixing pot of cultures and whatnot.
Hey, yo, look at you go bringing it all together.
Of course. And just like you two, that's what I do. I bring on well-rounded individuals. When I saw the stuff to do in Orlando, I knew that I'm like, okay, we should probably actually have a good episode about what makes Orlando great. Because like I said, I was talking with one of my mentors and he was just like, yeah, that's definitely something you could do because Orlando has all these different facets.
I'm definitely at the end of this going to definitely plug the Instagram so people can like continue to follow the journey.
Oh, actually, at the end, I ask if you want to promote anything.
Sweet, can do. Hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions.
See if I can answer on the fly, answer on my feet.
And as Ashley just stated, we are going into my favorite section of any Big DK Energy episode, which is the bonus question round. So, with that being said, Miss Edwards, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Excellent.
Born ready.
Perfect. So, with that being said, question number 1. A friend has come in from anywhere in Europe, and so they ask, what do you like about Orlando? What's one restaurant and what's one coffee shop that you would recommend?
Ooh, great question. And funny, because I actually have a friend that came from Europe just a couple weeks ago, and these are the answers that I gave him.
Oh, okay.
So if you're coming in from Orlando, like, we're not doing theme parks. Like, if you love theme parks, do it on your own time. If you're with me, we're not going to do that. But probably what I would do is I would spend the day in like different areas. I would kind of do like half days and half days. I would definitely take you to food halls. So you're going to eat. I'm so sorry. I'm a foodie, and Orlando, like such a huge, big part of our city is the culture and the food and the experiences. Mm-hmm. Dr. Phillips Center is such also a great place that has like entertainment and arts. And that's the other part of Orlando is like the wonderful art that we have. So hopefully there'd be something really cool artsy event happening at Dr. Phillips. Like right now the Fusion Fest is going on, free event downtown. So I take him to something kind of like that to show like the artsy creative side. And then restaurant, we talked about this, Hawkers. Hawkers is like my number one go-to spot in Orlando. Great food, great drinks, Great vibes all around. They do brunch also with bottomless mimosas. I have not tried it yet, but it's on my bucket list. And then coffee shop. Ooh, okay. I have a couple of favorites. Keep in mind, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I love the experience and the ambiance of a coffee shop. I have two favorites. One is in Winter Garden. It's called Three Birds Cafe. And it is like a coffee shop in the morning, transitions into like a little cute cafe. There's wine, there's beer, there's tapas, charcuterie boards at night. And it's open like all day, free Wi-Fi. The owner, Ashley, is absolutely incredible. She's the nicest person on this planet. She's so sweet. It's new. It opened just like a couple months ago, too. So you could be a hipster and hear about it first. That's downtown Winter Garden on Plant Street. And then another one is probably Stardust Coffee. And that's over...
By UCF, right? Oh, wait, no, it's actually in this area.
It's like near Mills, kind of like a block away from Easton Market, which is also phenomenal. Everything there is great. Gideon's Cookies, Winter Park Biscuit Company.
I can't do Gideon's Cookies because every time there's a line wrapped around the corner, I'm like, yeah, I'm not waiting.
At East End?
Yeah, 100%. I always see Gideon's Bakery lined up.
Have you gone since Disney Spring opened their location? Because ever since Disney Spring opened, those have a 6-hour queue line when Gideon's, like at Easton, is like
6 hours?
Empty. It's a virtual queue too, so you have to get there, put yourself in a virtual queue, and like wait all day in order to stand in line to get a cookie.
Did they put cocaine in their cookies or something like that?
I mean, I can't say, but like, I'm nodding.
All
Which
right.
a fun fact about the owner is he doesn't like cookies.
Wait, does he not?
He doesn't. He doesn't like sweets.
Interesting.
But yet he makes arguably the best cookie in the world.
And it's here in Orlando, folks.
And it's here in Orlando. Gideon's. It's amazing.
All right. Well, that being said, number 2. If you could live in any Disney universe, what would it be?
Clarify Disney universe, like movie universe? I mean, am I basic for saying the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which now is a multiverse?
It's not basic at all because it's your answer.
You're not wrong. Okay, I'd probably live there.
Where in the Marvel universe would you live, though?
Not
would you live
New
on
York
Earth?
City.
Okay, smart.
I would not live in New York because that just seems like a terrible idea. Somewhere that's like really unaffected, but like you see the things happening. I think I would want to be blipped. I think I would want to be snapped because I wouldn't want to live through those 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I'd much rather just kind of show back up because I'd show back up as like 21, 22, however old I was in 2018.
Okay. Dang, I never heard that viewpoint on that. Wow, that was kind of dark. But
I mean, if we're going in the timeline and we're going correctly, like
I respect it.
I get brought back, so like might as well just blip those years.
Wow, okay. All right.
Well, that got kind of dark.
Yeah, but hey, it's your answer to give, so we'll run with it. Number 3, you're a Jedi Padawan.
Oh.
What color is your lightsaber, and what is your force power?
Oh my gosh, I probably have to go purple because purple is a red color. I just love it.
Gotta go with the Mace Windu look.
Gotta go with the Mace Windu. And fun fact, Samuel L. Jackson, there was no purple lightsabers until he showed up on set and said, I'm getting a purple lightsaber. And they're like, okay, Sammy Jack, anything you want.
Samuel motherfucking Jackson.
Literally Samuel motherfucking Jackson. A king.
I don't know if you know this, but he actually says the word motherfucker to get over a stutter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a speech impediment.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Pretty well. It's kind of what he's known for.
Attaboy. Good for him.
And force power, you said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like moving things, like moving objects with your mind is like really, really basic. And I kind of want to elaborate. Like, I would love, like, form a connection with, like, species. I say species instead of, like, animals.
Yeah.
But, like, be able to, like, communicate with...
Like, telecommunicate with them.
Yeah. And that would, like, go, like, other planets. Like, if I didn't speak, like, a language that they spoke, then I could, like, telecommunicate still with their minds. I feel like that'd be, like, a Jedi mind trick that you could do.
That sounds like one, indeed. And I like that, especially since some Jedi are, like, really good with stuff in nature. Like, I could just see you just... You know, if there's a bear in your vicinity, you're like, "Hi, I want to pet you. You look cute, even
Like,
though you can follow me."
It's fine. We have a connection. You're not gonna touch me. These are not the droids you're looking for.
That's right. Move along, citizen.
Move along. That's actually like their gesture act. Oh, I keep touching this. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. What's their gesture again?
So stormtroopers, like if they're like talking, you say, like hear them say "move along," you'll look and they'll be like this, and it's the triggering their words they're saying.
Got it.
Disney magic. Broken.
Disney
I'm
magic.
sorry, guys.
Oh, speaking of that, number 4. If you could give a suggestion for a new section of Disney World, what would it be?
Oh, a new section of Disney World? Okay. I've actually thought a lot, long and hard about this. So, we're going to Epcot. And we're going to go around the world. And we have this section that is like Africa. And I would just take that out because Africa is a continent, not a country.
Fair enough.
And it just makes me mad that like we're honoring these countries and it's just like Africa. Not a lot of reasons, but there's also a little area near that that's just kind of like empty, not much is going on. So I'd take Africa, make it like South Africa or something, and then I would add in Peru. And specifically add in the IP Emperor's New Groove. And I would make the Machu Picchu, that'd be like the icon of the area, and inside it's going to be the ride of Kronkanisma, like pull the lever Kronk, and she like goes down the roller coaster.
Oh my god.
That is what I would implement.
Wow. Actually, snaps to you for that answer. I would not have ever thought of that.
Thank you so much. And Disney Imagineering, hire me. I already have the specs drawn out.
Yeah, hopefully we can get someone from Disney to watch this show. So for Peru, that'd be interesting because I don't know if you would go with the food of Peru because do you know what they eat as a delicacy over there?
I actually don't.
Guinea pigs.
That's actually kind of sad.
Yeah, it's literally been a main food source for them since the Incas because there's just such a lack of protein up in that high of elevation.
I did not think about that. I mean, I'm sure Disney will find a way. They always find a way.
They'll just tell you it's guinea pig, but it's really emu shaped like guinea pig.
Yeah, or it's chicken. At this point, Disney will just be safe about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's chicken.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with that answer now, can you?
I mean, anything tastes like chicken.
Especially frog's legs, which actually I did find out.
Oh, so does ostrich, and so does... when I was studying abroad in South Africa, I ate a lot of wild game, and a lot of it just tastes like chicken.
Oh, you've been to South Africa?
I have, yeah. I studied abroad there.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Thanks. That's where I skydived, and I cage dived with great white sharks, and I...
Did you learn any Afrikaans while you were there?
Ubuntu, my favorite word, and it just means a blending of communities, an understanding and a love for all people.
So, stuff to do in Orlando is an Ubuntu of your own?
It is. I would say so.
Oh, look at that. See how everything comes full circle. Number 5. Give me one of your favorite childhood memories.
Ooh. Does it have to be nostalgic or can it be just really funny?
It can be anything.
Great. Okay. So my dad works for NASA, and NASA, he's pretty high up, so they kind of send him all around the world essentially just to do NASA rocket sciencey things. And when I was 9 years old, they sent him to Collioure, France for 6 months. And my mom was like, you can go on one condition, and that one condition is at the end of your time, the family gets to come visit you. Because I want to go to France. And he's like, yeah, of course, I would love to show you guys around. So it comes by, and so 9-year-old me is now spending 2.5 weeks in France.
Oh.
Wild times. And one of the things that we did is we went to Paris, we did the Louvre, we did the Eiffel Tower, all that stuff. And when we went to the Louvre, Mona Lisa, very, very famous. That's literally the size of just a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. It's actually very, very small. And it was in a room of its own, and there was a line to go in it. Ashley, she's naive, she's small, she thinks she can get away with anything.
Uh-oh.
And I say this in third person as if I'm not the same person that I was. And there's a little velvet rope kind of blocking the people from the painting.
Okay.
And in my mind, the security guard standing at that velvet rope pulls it up and allows me to go underneath to get a closer look.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's actually what he was intending to do, but I still did it. So I got underneath the rope, and I'm like, I'm so close, I can just touch this thing. Uh-oh. So I literally reach up to go, touch the Mona Lisa.
Oh, no.
And then I got escorted out of the room.
Oh, my God.
And then I got escorted out of that part of the Louvre. Not the entire Louvre, because it's huge, but just, that section where it was.
Great going, Ashley.
I tried. My parents were already out of the room, so it was just me and my sister, and they're like, what happened? All of a sudden, this French security guard's, yelling at them in French, and my dad, only speaks, a quarter French at this point, and he's like, I don't know. And, here we are. I got kicked out of the Louvre when I was 9 years old.
Hey, better than being arrested in France.
I mean, very true. Very true.
You were with your brothers in Paris. Oh, sorry, your sisters in Paris. There you go.
It's close enough.
So, number 6. If you could team up with any 2 Marvel superheroes, what's the mission and what are your powers?
What's the mission? Okay. All right, I'm going to go basic on this one because WandaVision just came out, but Wanda Maximoff is definitely on that list. Mm-hmm. Mainly because she's a baddie and I wouldn't want to mess with her. I'd want her on my side. Mm-hmm. And also, now that she's officially the Scarlet Witch, her powers are just insane. Mm-hmm. She can do anything. Number 2, just because I love him so much, is Spider-Man. And really, he's just the comedic relief of the duo, because I feel every duo has to have the comedic relief and also the good, talented one.
Correct.
We would just
the smarter one.
Yeah.
The leader.
The leader. Wanda would be the leader. I feel she'd be babysitting basically me and Spider-Man the entire time. Powers wise, I haven't really thought long and hard about it, but I think I would want like transfiguration. Like I'd want to be able to transform into anything. And when I say anything, I mean like I could become like a paperclip or like a bird.
Oh,
like
what's the shape-shifting? There we go. And I haven't thought about it in a while because everyone's like super strength, super speed. I go shape-shifting
because I feel like it's the smart strategic answer, because like if you need to be super strong, you can transform into something that is super strong. If you need to be like invisible, just turn yourself into a fly. Like,
or if you want something for free, you can transform into Kim Kardashian and walk in and be like,
I'm Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian, let me take a picture of my phone and I'll blow up your spot.
Yeah, and like you could be whoever you want. Like it just seems like it's the gig. I don't know why more people aren't on our wavelength and say shape shifting.
I guess they don't watch that many superheroes to even think that that's a power.
I guess, but also like, can you imagine like if it was like Wanda Maximoff, who's just like magical wizard, Spider-Man who just shoots things and is strong, and then just like me who just can do anything and just be anyone.
That's still pretty cool, though, especially, like, if you have to create a distraction, then you can just go in as one of the guards and, like, maybe your vocals can change to where you actually, like, for example, let's just say you're breaking into a Russian secret facility. Like, you'll know how to speak Russian right there and then sound like a Russian guard or something like that.
Like, all of a sudden, I'm Natasha Romanoff.
There
I'm
we
like,
go.
I'm Black Widow. What's up? Don't mess with me.
She's a baddie.
R.I.P. May she rest in peace.
Yeah, she rests
I thought you were going with, like, she's dead because you're off a cliff.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. So, R.I.P. Number 7. What's a UCF game you want to see in the future?
Ooh, like a pairing?
Like a pairing, or even just a hypothetical pairing, one that hasn't been done yet. What, like, if you could see UCF play anybody?
I would love to see UCF play Alabama. And, like, I say that as someone, I was literally in the stands in 2017, and I just heard the cheer, "We want Bama, we want Bama," and I'm sitting here just sipping on my drink like, no, y'all don't. No, y'all don't. But I think if we had our 2017, like with Mackenzie Milton, and we had like even Gus as a coach, I feel like Gus could really bring in that oomph that we need to like beat Bama, because it takes a very special team to beat Bama, which is why Auburn is notoriously, if you look at history, like they're the only ones that even has a chance to do it. Like if you even look at the game on Saturday, 4 overtimes, literally, and Auburn was this close and we just like barely lost it. And it's because, like, Auburn has that drive and that power to beat Bama, and I think that UCF could do it.
Got it. Well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but our record versus the Tide is 1-0.
I did not know that.
We beat them in, I think, 2000 for their homecoming games.
Oh, shoot. I did not know that. That's before my time as a football fan, I would say.
True, but that was before the Nick Saban era. But still,
there it is.
our record against the University of Alabama is 1-0.
Oh, okay. Well, go Knights, charge on to that.
So yeah, UCF versus an improved Nick Saban Alabama team. That'd be a good game to watch. I mean, I don't know how we'd fare, but
if it's the season that we have right now, I don't think we would do well.
Nope.
But I think if we had like that same talent that we had in 2017, which I don't know if we'll ever have again, because that was just such a rare year with just the incredible talent that we had, I think we could do it.
I'd love to see that. Okay, number 8. Dream vacation and itinerary.
Ooh, okay. I have a list. My number 1 spot right now, like the very top, is Greece. And that's a trip I want to go on like with my girls. That is a girl trip. So that is, we're staying on Santorini. There is a Mamma Mia hotel there with the Mamma Mia suite.
Why am I not surprised? And let me guess, you're going to find your one true love somewhere while boating.
Probably. Or will I find 3 true loves? Who honestly knows? My Mamma Mia moment will be had. And that is, I just want to eat, be on the beach, and just like explore and sing Mamma Mia. And then my other one is Australia, New Zealand. And I'm actually like talking to my parents about doing a trip like this like the next couple of years, because I want to do like the Lord of the Rings tour.
Yes.
And visit Hobbiton. New Zealand is also like number 1 for skydiving in the world.
Really? I did not know that.
The more you know. So I want to do that there, because I've already done it in South Africa and I've done it here in Florida. So I like just keep getting better. And then Australia, just I don't know, I just want to go. Everything can kill you there, but like I still want to go to the Outback. I want to see a kangaroo. They'll punch me in the face, but it'll be great.
Oh, absolutely. Those things are shredded, too.
Literally, like, what's your ab routine?
Number 9, based on our get-up for today, what's one of your best holiday memories?
Oh, my best holiday? Okay. Oh. So, my favorite holiday, I'll start there, is what I call Hallow Thanksgiving Birthday.
Okay.
Because it starts in Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, Christmas. My birthday's in January, so it's just
what day?
11.
Okay, my sister's is the 14th.
Big Capricorn energy right there. You'll love to see it.
Oh, I'm a Sagittarius. Sorry.
I meant to your sister.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Capricorn sisters unite. I mean, just like going home for Christmas. Like, honestly, like, you can't beat it. Like, every year I try to go home for Christmas, just like be
In Alabama?
With my family, because it's the season. There was one Christmas that it actually snowed in Alabama, and we were like snowed in for a week. That was just incredible because it never really snows in Alabama, or like sticks.
Oh, because the ground is really hot. It probably just melts everything the instant it hits the ground.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
If it flurries, it'll flurry. I don't know. It's just like the embodiment of being home for Christmas. That's the Hallmark movie classic.
And when was the last time you were home for the holidays?
For the holidays specifically was last year.
Okay.
I usually don't go home for Thanksgiving because it's hard to like try to do Thanksgiving and Christmas at the same time. So I always stay in Orlando for Thanksgiving, spend it with my friends. I usually work on Thanksgiving, and then Christmas I like take extra time off so I can like really spend it with my family though.
Got it.
Last year I had COVID during Christmas, so that was a fun time.
Okay. I guess that counts for the answer.
So it was a memory. Quarantine with your parents for 2 weeks after being gone for 5-6 years.
Okay, well, at least I got to spend some time with you.
I watched Bridgerton. My parents.
Oh, how was that?
It was an experience. I don't know if you've seen the show, but it's very, very graphic, very sexual.
Oh, I remember one time, I don't know if you remember the movie 300. Well, I went to go see that with my dad in the theaters, and there was a sex scene, and I was in middle school, and my dad was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're cool." And then
yeah, we're good.
and it just went away. I'm like, "Oh, thank God, that was awful."
Why is it so weird with your parents? I don't know. It's just like a different like. Oh.
Yeah, especially when they like hear that you're dating someone, I kind of like assumed, "Oh, you're not just doing innocent stuff."
I just don't talk about it.
There we go.
Just like, yeah, I'm dating so and so. You don't have to worry about it. It's fine.
Correct. You don't need to know about any of the gory details. And wow, we've actually been blowing through this because we are at the 10th question.
Ooh, let's go.
So number 10, it's a question that I ask everybody actually, but it's a good one. Or at least to me it is. And it is number 10. What is your best, most recent accomplishment?
My best, most recent accomplishment? I would say, so I have a couple of them. So I'm going to start with my master's degree because that kind of goes into like my career. Like within the past year, I've kind of completely 180'd my life, and I went from being a performer at Disney to being unemployed, a serving job, to all of a sudden having a master's degree, owning my own business, and having like a contract with UNation, doing like actual like social media work. I have like 7 more clients like under my name that I do social media contracting for. So I'm like a full-on entrepreneur doing things.
You're a girl boss.
I did girl boss a little too close to the sun. And then like on top of that, like just also like physically as well. Like I actually ran my first half marathon a couple weeks ago, which I'm really proud about.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I subbed an under 10-minute mile the entire time.
Great for you.
And finished it in 2 hours and 12 minutes, which is like phenomenal time apparently, I've been told, for like a first half marathon. If you asked me 2 years ago if I was ever gonna run at all, I would have laughed in your face and said that I don't do cardio while like laying on the ground like Amy Schumer. Not Amy Schumer. That's Fat Amy. What's her name in Pitch Perfect?
Rebel Wilson, I think.
Ah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, just like career-wise. Like I just am in such a good place. I'm like really confident in like my abilities and my skills. And I'm really excited to see like where it's gonna go.
Wow, I love hearing all that for you, Ashley. If everything else is said and done, then we are at the end of the show, and I just want to say thanks again for joining me today, Ashley.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
It's been a great time, and happy belated birthday also.
Thank you.
Little birdie told me it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's the fact that you shouted out that counted, but thank you for that. So I reached out and brought you onto the show today because, like I said, I was talking to one of my mentors, and we realized and we were listing out how great of a city Orlando is, even though that everybody thinks it's a very family-friendly place and there's not much to do. So I was thinking, I need someone who's very well versed in what's going on or what's happening in this area. And then I follow your page Stuff to Do in Orlando, and it's just such a great tool that isn't just great for the members in the group itself, but it's good for anybody else that comes in, you know, for Disney, for example, or anywhere in Florida. They come and visit Orlando. Hopefully they use this episode as something informative to better their experience here and whatnot. And then also, you're very well spoken, you're very knowledgeable, and you have such a very great attitude that just made the energy of this podcast very, very positive. And it's with all those reasons and all those things said and done that I think you, Ashley Edwards, have big DK energy.
Well, thank you. That means like literally so much coming from you. Like I thrive that I have big DK energy. I can officially say that, which I don't think I've ever said before. So first time on this podcast right here. It's recorded for all time's sake.
Say it.
Big DK energy.
There we go.
I feel like whisper it. Big DK energy.
Excellent.
ASMR.
Sorry. So, with that all being said and done, we're going to put our social media links in the description.
There it
and is there anything else you want to promote before we head out?
Yeah, so I guess, like, you know, my social media, it'll be in the link, but, like, at XOXOAshley if you want to see, like, what I'm doing in Orlando and other places, because I do travel a lot and take spontaneous vacations. My job, if you want to follow more of, like, literally stuff to do in Orlando, just search that up. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok. We have a city guide that has a bunch of fun blogs. It's your key to discovering the city and, like, individual neighborhoods. So we dive down deep and we're like, do you want to discover more of, like, Nona, more downtown, more Mills 50? We have all these different neighborhood guides to help you discover more of your city that you might have never experienced before. Or if you're visiting, then discover new stuff.
Wow, I love that. All that being said, I'm DK, and this is Big DK Energy, signing off.